Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Jaydayoungan. Now, Jaydayoungan is a rapper who lost his life last week in a tragic shooting incident that involved his father, man. He comes from a city called Bogalusa, Louisiana, that's fairly small, but has a lot of problems following this shooting, right? Even the police have spoken out about the recent rise in crime since the shooting of Jaydayoungan, man. There's been several retaliation shootings and all of that, man. But one person who was involved in the incident, his father, has come out to speak and tell the story of exactly what happened the day him and his son were shot, on the day his son lost his life. Now, before we get to the specifics and break down all the details, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about this story from TMZ that just dropped, where they spoke with Jaydayoungan's father and got his story directly from him. And his story is a little different than what we heard from his grandfather. Now, for those of you who don't remember, his grandfather told the story of the shooting, and he detailed that the shooter was hiding behind the house and came from behind the house to ambush Jaydayoungan and his father, right? Now, he didn't say exactly how many shooters there was, but his dad tells the story and says there was multiple gunmen, and that's how Jaydayoungan was shot so many times, you know what I mean? According to his father, he was shot like a total of 8 times or something like that, but let's get to the story. Now, the headline of the story says this: Jaydayoungan, ambushed by 5 gunmen. Dad details fatal shooting. So they're saying that 5 different gunmen ambushed him and his dad. And to be honest, that makes sense because his dad says that he returned fire. And Jaydayoungan was shot 8 times. Now, could that have been one shooter who did all that? Yeah, it's possible. But the way the story's broken down is it was a team of people, and that's how the ambush was set up. Now, the story starts off by saying this. It says, popular Louisiana rapper Jaydayoungan was fatally ambushed by 5 gunmen, according to his father, who was there when his son was gunned down. Now, to be honest, this is first-person account of what happened, you know? All the other stories, they're second-person account. They're hearing from somebody else what happened. They're trying to guess what happened. But his dad spoke directly with TMZ, and he gave his account and said that, 5 gunmen ambushed them, man. Now, I don't know what kind of beef Jaydayoungan had in his city, who he was into it with and all that, but 5 gunmen, that sounds like a lot of money put up in order to get this done, or either some people were really, really trying to get at Jaydayoungan for something that he was involved in allegedly. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know if this was just out of jealousy or what it was, but obviously these guys wanted Jaydayoungan up out of here, man, which is sad. Rest in peace to Jaydayoungan, man. We don't want to make light of that. Now, it also goes on to say this. The slain rapper's dad, Kenyatta Scott, tells TMZ he and Jaydayoungan were sitting in the front yard of the Louisiana home Wednesday evening when a black truck pulled up and 3 people hopped out with guns. So they said they were sitting on the porch. And you can see the picture of the house right here, and you see Jaydayoungan's car that you see all over his IG and everything. You know, a sports car. It's not hard to tell that that's his car. I'm pretty sure in a small town like Bogalusa, that car sticks out and people know it's him. Like, he's the only person to ever make it out the rap game there. He's like probably one of the people with the most money. You know what I'm saying? I don't know his pockets exactly, but, you know, having a car like that shows a lot of status, right? So they jumped out of the black vehicle and started to shoot at them. You know what I'm saying? It says black truck. So it was 3 people that hopped out. Now, it might have been 3 people that hopped out and 2 others came from behind the house. That's possible. But that's an elaborate plot, man. That's people who are really trying to get at you when it's serious like that. You know, when somebody's sending 2 different teams of people, they all have a direct target. You know, that's a lot, man, going on. Now, Scott says his son tried running inside the house, but 2 more people with guns approached from the side of the property, and then shots rang out. So you see that? They're saying a truck, if a black truck to be exact, pulled up in the front, 3 gunmen jump out of there. 2 people come from behind the house, from the sides to the sides of the house, and start shooting there to where Jaydayoungan isn't even able to run back into the house. Now, his father was there for the whole thing because he was sitting on the porch with him. He was sitting there right on the porch with him. So all those conspiracies about maybe it was some sort of internal setup, it doesn't sound like that based on this story, right? Now, Jaydayoungan's father says he was armed too and shot back to defend himself and his son. Scott was shot twice in the arm, while Jaydayoungan was struck at least 8 times. Scott remains in the hospital. So they're talking to him in the hospital, to get this scoop or to get the story. And he's saying that he shot back to defend himself, which, nothing wrong with that. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But, too bad he couldn't react in time to get all those shooters off of Jaydayoungan, because obviously he was the intended target if he was hit 8 times by all these different shooters, man. I'm pretty sure this is a wild scene, just like the Young Dolph situation. This is a crazy scene, to be real with you. Now, Scott remains in the hospital, so it looks like he's still, getting taken care of, but he was shot in the arm twice, so it seems like he's going to make it. I know getting shot in the arm is not as easy a deal as people think it is. You don't just walk away from that all normal and stuff. You got to go through physical therapy, all sorts of stuff, right? But, man, he got the least of all this, man, because Jaydayoungan obviously lost his life. Now, TMZ broke the story that Jaydayoungan lost a lot of blood in the shooting and underwent surgery, but died in the hospital, man. So Jaydayoungan passed away in the hospital due to the fact that, he was shot several times and lost a lot of blood, according to this story. Now, the rapper's dad believes his son's murder was a result of jealousy, that he made it out of Bogalusa. He thinks whoever was behind the shooting was envious of Jaydayoungan's success. Now, let's be for real. In a town the size of Bogalusa, you mean to tell me they don't know exactly who shot Jaydayoungan, who that team of shooters were? Come on, man. 5 shooters, you would know who 5 people who are willing to go out like that are in a town that small, man. Like, that's why I think there were so many retaliation shootings so quick. Like, one shooting came 10 minutes after Jaydayoungan was shot. Another later on that day, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think his dad is trying to give out enough information to TMZ so they can follow the story, but he's trying to keep it tight exactly who it is for whatever reason. Now, his dad continued by saying this. He said, Scott says his son didn't have any beef with anyone, and he doesn't think it was gang-related. He does not think Jaydayoungan knew the gunman. So basically clearing anybody that he might have potentially or rumored to have any beef with, and he feels like he didn't even know who the gunmen were. That's what he's telling TMZ. Now, the chief of police told TMZ that cops are looking at all possibilities for a motive, including gangs and or retaliation. Now, for some reason, cops think there was only one shooter. Police have not identified the suspect or made any arrests. So what's wild is you would think in a town that size as well that they would know who the shooter was almost immediately. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to those small towns, there's only a certain group of people who get into it with another group of people usually. It's never like so many different groups or whatever. But we'll see something probably in the future. They're probably just trying to keep it under wraps right now until they officially figure out who the suspect is in this situation. And according to his dad, it's going to be like 5 different suspects. So we're going to be hearing a lot of names to see what really was the issue here. If it was jealousy that was the motive, man, that is a pure sucker move, man. You know what I'm saying? To take somebody out because you're jealous of their success in the rap game. Or it could be something deeper than that. It's almost hard to believe that because of the extent that they went to with 2 different teams of shooters, setting up people behind the house, coming from both sides, and a truck jumping out in the front. That's a lot to go through for just being jealous of somebody. But I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments what y'all think. Do y'all think his dad's first-person account is the best, story that we gonna get, the most factual one in this story? Or do you think there's still more to this, what happened to Jaydayoungan? You know what I mean? Now, with that, this has been your boy, Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this kind of content. And we out of here. Peace.